Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And oh boy, it was warm a second ago, but actually it's gotten kind of chilly now. Or maybe it's just the cold deadness inside that I feel from having to complete the most mind-numbing task ever. That, of course, being finding the recycle bin on a Samsung phone. That does not sound like a challenge, but trust me, I had my mobile data on for this in order to actually be able to look up tutorials on YouTube. It was nowhere to be found in any setting at all, and I had to go onto Gallery, which I wasn't even using to look at my photos and videos, because I had camera roll for that, and now I have this. So yeah, my storage on my phone was somehow, miraculously, even worse than on my computer. Which, believe me, that's saying something, because to edit or record one video, I'm at the stage right now where I am deleting the previous one that I have just made in order to make space for the next one, or even to render anything at all. So yeah, pretty fun. A fun time for everyone. But yeah, in this instance, what happened was that I had a lot of backed up Walking Wednesdays and other videos for stuff I either released here or on the Butter Bunch or not at all. And yeah, I just went through and deleted 90 items in total. Not all of them were videos, some of them were just photos. So yeah. So now I have a lot more storage. I can't remember what I didn't check to see what it was before I started recording this. Maybe I'll check later. Who knows, maybe I'll update the description of a Walking Wednesday video. Shock horror, I might actually do that for once. Although, I really don't know at this point. Okay. So, where am I today? Well, I'm in Crawley. That's much is certain. I managed to stumble across a golf centre that's near Tilgate, which is where that park is that I usually go. So, that's it. That's all the location information I'm giving you today. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the golf centre has a bunch of public footpaths and stuff. And here I was, thinking I'd missed out on a golf tournament that happened this week. And that was not here. And here we are, with an actual place that you can walk to. At least, of course, having, after going through the drive to Crawley, obviously. That goes without saying. But yeah, it's interesting. Speaking of that, that's something interesting that happened this week. That my dad took part in a golf tournament. I think my uncle did as well. I know that my aunt was, fetching the balls for them and whatever, which was the task that they tried to give me. But I said, no thanks. No, I don't really want to go to a golf tournament just to not play golf. And it's not like I really like golf all that much. I honestly don't. But if you're at a golf tournament, you might as well play some golf. I feel like that was the point. I feel like Bull Roarer Took is going to be would have insisted on that rule, honestly. Although, I don't know, who knows. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that my dad won the tournament. Yeah, apparently that's what happened. I'm not sure exactly how it went down, but yeah, he came home with a trophy and saw a bunch of WhatsApp photos, which I now might also delete from my phone. I'm not sure, I can't remember. So who knows? But yeah, that was quite a shock. Because I mean, he's not the most confident of golf players. Honestly, I can't speak for his skill because I haven't seen him, but clearly he's got some moves, obviously. I don't know. And yeah, I've looked at that trophy and it actually has all of the names of the champions inscribed on it from previous years. The problem with that, of course, is that they don't have time, obviously, to inscribe the person's name that just won the trophy. So it makes me think that either they produce a new one every year with new inscriptions on that the person who won doesn't have, or you give it back to them or something. Maybe it's like Star of the Week in Surrey Youth Theatre. You get one trophy that you take home and you bring back next week. And if you forget, someone still might be awarded Star of the Week, but they don't get the trophy to go along with it. I know, it was a very strange time. I think I actually once forgot Star of the Week at home. I'm not sure. I think I won that a total of like 3 times. Which sounds like a lot, but again, this was over the course of 6 years. And there used to not be so many people. Right. Which way to go now? I feel like I should make my way over here because it's a bit more open, and I did have a massive spout of hay fever today, so I'm going to stay sort of in the open. Never mind, there is a hill. I am going this way. So yeah, I have had hay fever medication today, so I'm at least all right now, because blimey, that was something before. Oh, there's another path actually. Alright, I'll take the middle of the road, literally. It's like the episode of Mutant Girl actually, where they had the 3 different crossroads and they all had to choose which one in order to get back, which ultimately decided the fates of the characters from that point onwards. So yeah, very much like what Hecate would have concocted. I think that looking back, that's what I was trying to do in that scene. And also find the only 2D background I could that had 3 different paths diverging off it. It was interesting. I've been rewatching The Mutant Girl a few times recently. Once with Dexus and several times with Maya, or Baby Satquin, as I refer to her on YouTube because it's YouTube. Wait a minute. Train? And the tower here? The tower behind me? I know where we are. I've walked around here before. This is where I got massively dehydrated one time. Which reminds me, I've also had water, so don't worry about me. I should be okay, hopefully. Maybe, possibly. But yeah, what a coincidence that is. I just kind of sometimes, especially like around Crawley, because it's such a small location. I mean, even compared, I don't know about compared to Godalming actually, because who knows? I mean, obviously that involves either scaling up and down a hill, and also I've seen everything there already. But with Crawley, it's kind of like, oh yeah, all these different places, they all connect in some very interesting ways. And I'm just gonna meander around and find them all, basically. It makes me think, because a lot of the time when I was younger, I rejected a bunch of walks with my mum and dad, because they would sometimes go like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna go for a walk around or something. I think, however, most of their walks went into town rather than what I do, which is just like, you know, chart out one specific area. Hello. I'm being pointed at. But yeah, I think actually, I wonder, I don't know. I mean, if my dad knew there was a golf centre here, quite possibly that would be a new location for him to attempt. I don't really know. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the woods. Yeah, like I said, everything kind of connects. And also, yeah, the as I was saying, I've been watching Mutant as well a couple of times. It's always a strange experience going back and watching the Mutant episodes, especially the old ones, like the 2019 stuff, season 1, because oh dear, okay, just poke myself in the eye trying to avoid a dog. Still the lesser of two evils. Dogs and Walking Wednesday are the worst combination usually. Oh no, I take it back. Cars and Walking Wednesday are the worst combination. No, lorries and Walking Wednesday are the worst combination. And look at that. Oh wait, you can't see it. Okay, which way do I want to go to avoid that? I could just keep going further down the path. Oh no, it's going. I should probably get out of the woods for now. And it's reversing. Nope, staying in the woods. Wait, the trains are that way. So I really should be going this way. Okay. See, sometimes I have to make some decisions on the spot. Normally I'm just looking ahead and kind of just winging it. You know, playing it by the eye. And then somehow I manage to usually circle around a familiar place, turn off the camera and walk the rest of the way back home. But yeah, I don't actually know. With this place, it is very interesting, especially because I didn't even know there was a golf course until recently. So yeah, as I was trying to say twice now, watching old episodes is always strange for me, because, you know, I look at them now and I think, even back then, that might have not been my best work because it was all so rushed to meet the deadline. I'm so glad that I sacrificed that, and I also got new editors and stuff. Oh, that's a dead end. Yeah, I'm getting out of the woods now, I think. Okay, so I can still hear that thing. Okay, but yeah, because but if it weren't for that first stretch, then nothing else would have happened. And also, I wonder in terms of the story as well, because again, that's the part that I always take pride in, is the story. And usually all the criticisms revolve around all the visuals and audio and whatnot. Usually the story gets off very lightly, or is the part that actually gets praised. You know, I mean, there's people like Miss Devil, for example, that actually say, for example, that they even though Miss Devil is far better at visuals than I am, she still feels less confident because of story. It doesn't really help that the one element that I can critique a lot in people is story. Although now I say that, I've been with the reviews I've done recently, like the Running With You reviews in particular, which reminds me, the last episode's coming out today, so that's gonna be reviewed as well. I actually noticed myself looking at the technicals way more, because obviously, how am I going to critique a story that I've supervised the script for and I've actually helped write? It doesn't usually work so well, because usually by the time that an alien script gets made, it's already gone through me, and I've already revised it to make sure that stuff makes sense, and, you know, spelling and grammar and whatnot all that fun stuff. Obviously, spelling and grammar doesn't immediately factor into our videos in particular, because please do not tip garden or house of rubbish on this note. Okay. Alright. I look at this path I'm on. No idea what I've done now. What places have I found? Images are being monitored for the purposes of crime prevention and public safety. Well, don't you worry, I brought my own camera. It's fine. Film me all you want, CCTV. Well, I don't know. So, let's see. Just again, try to find my way out here now. On the other hand, this would actually be a really good place to film some sort of neighborhood-based sitcom or something. I think so, anyway. Oh well. Yeah, so, what was I about? Yeah, with story and stuff. But yeah, so obviously when I review his stuff, I look at the technical side of things. And I'll probably do the same when I look at stuff that I've supervised before. Maybe the things that I voice acted. I think as I've obviously, gotten a lot better at YouTube and whatever, and obviously editing gotchas and stuff, then I actually got a lot I got a lot more confident in how to do in how to look at those things and recommend solutions to problems. I mean, even something like Ghost Girl, for example, because Ghost Girl obviously uses very beginner techniques, obviously, because the creator is a beginner. So it makes sense. But yeah, I've been trying to push for solutions that I know are available to Ghost Kitty, and offer some solutions. I mean, there's still some other things that I feel like I could go over, like for example, how to use things like Audacity or a voice recorder or anything really that can help process audio, and therefore gather different voice actors together instead of having to pitch shift yourself. But actually Ghost Kitty came up with that solution on her own. The episode 4 part 3 of Ghost Girl was actually pitch shifted by her, and that was not something that I recommend or anyone else. So it's not like I do everything, obviously. Though people have come to actually really value my guidance, honestly, with a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not just with voice acting. When people seem to really enjoy what I do and not necessarily want to offer redirection or, just kind of let me do my thing and say, oh yeah, you're the talented actor, do your thing and I'll put it to visuals. Like, no, that's backwards. You're the talented director, supposedly. I haven't seen you direct yet, but we'll see. So yeah, it is always interesting having that, and now I've come back to the place I knew I was, the place of dehydration again, just circled round. But yeah, same thing happens when I review stuff, really. Whenever I do gotcha reviews, I sometimes put myself on a pedestal where people really do take my advice sometimes as gospel. I mean, honestly, Aiden does not. Like I was talking about defining with you and stuff before. Aiden has his own style. He knows what works for him. He knows his strengths and limitations and everything. And we just kind of have a bit of a discussion on what might have been and such. And obviously, me pulling up the script all the time, because let's face it, that's just funny. But yeah, overall, actually, there's something I do sometimes wonder, if it kind of validates what I do in a sense, in terms of reviewing thing, because even when I first started, when I did that first Taming the Bad Boy review with Emma after I just met her, you know, but you know at that point she had 30,000 subscribers, pretty sure. She then went on to have 40k later on, but yeah, that time it was 30k, and I believe I had somewhere in the 300s. And yet, I guess because I presented myself as the voice of reason, and maybe because she was already embarrassed of the project even that early on, even the same year it came out, which, let's face it, I relate, then, I don't know, I guess afterwards, she then started checking her own scripts with me, and now we are writing the reboot together. Hold on. But yeah, there are other examples too. Like even I did a review with Miss Devil, and then but that didn't get released because we lost the collab footage, and it just ended up with me being her go-to person for pretty much like any details at all, like different audio compilations and whatever sound mixing, and then even, you know, what do you think of these videos, you know, these music videos that are not story or voice acting based, and thus I have very limited knowledge of. But yeah, I've done my best in those ones as well, because sometimes look at it from a different angle, and it's like, yeah, well, you kind of need somebody else that I guess is confident in what they say in order to guide you a bit. Honestly, that's one of the things that actually is great about having Quadzy around, for example, because Quadzy, much like my good self, pulls no punches whatsoever when she doesn't like something. I mean, granted, I think my method of criticism is a little bit more, graceful, but even then, it's not too bad. You know, again, the honesty is still very much appreciated. But the reason I brought up Emma subscribers before is because, you know, I feel like we both understood in that moment that sometimes, even if you haven't achieved even if one person hasn't achieved as much success as you, they can still offer you some useful guidance. They can still sometimes, you know, be the voice of reason. They can still sometimes, in certain cases, be right. So yeah, like I said, on one part, it validates what I do. On the other, I do kind of worry about the levels of confidence that I leave people with. Because I know that for some people, reviewing content isn't always the best way forward. And when I review content that's made by strangers that I haven't contacted, that's always a risk as well. Because, you know, I like to make jokes, you know? I like to draw comparisons to things. And yeah, sometimes it's interesting because, I mean, you can sometimes tell when a gacha tuber is shy about their own work, or whether they're just winging it, basically. You get a lot of people doing like certain jump cuts saying, "Ooh, I'm lazy" or something, or, you know, this many likes for whatever. It's not like I play it by confidence, but I do try and moderate myself in terms of how that goes. It's like with Ghost Girl. If I hadn't met Ghost Kitty before, then obviously I would have been surprised about the Mutant Girl references, but but even if I hadn't, I'd still get the general sense that this person trying to figure themselves out, I just needs a little bit of an extra oomph to get there. And yeah, obviously another example, again, back to Miss Devil, a good example of someone who is already vastly more successful than me, but still values my counsel. So yeah, I hope if I at least can help people achieve more success, or at least be happier with themselves. That's why I like to do reviews, I think. Well, also because I just can't shut up about what I think. That's also another thing. Like honestly, I have to moderate the amount of gacha that I actually watch in my off time, because it actually, like everything that I look at, almost, I'm compelled to review it. So unless I want to be perpetually working on reviews 24/7, I have to just lay back a little bit. I think that has had a different effect, again, on the stuff that I make. Because I went from looking at things off camera a lot with Natasha and Nasib, learning about all the different gacha cliches that they knew about, you know, realizing what trends were happening at any moment, and having the serious critique all of those. Because again, if people watch Mutant Girl now, most of them that watch aren't really into gacha. So a lot of the gacha tropes that I was making fun of in 2019 are either no longer relevant or they've evolved. Which is exactly what I wanted, actually. And yeah, so it is refreshing when people look at the story and still appreciate the elements that are timeless versus the ones that were very much reflective of the moment. Okay. So yeah, all the way back to Mutant Girl and looking at things. Again, the Dexys viewing, which happened with Emma as well, was very much about a lot of editing stuff that was not working, and at one point pulling the age card of like, oh, you were 19 when you made this? How disappointing. Like, come on, I'm just starting. Everyone starts at different times. Gacha wasn't exactly around when I was 6. Oh god, motorbike, okay. Alright. I hope for the day that hybrids take over. They're much better. Because, good lord. Is he still like revving? Okay, he's revving around. Okay. Trying to find whichever door he's delivering at. I mean, makes sense. Okay, it's gone the other way now. And yeah. Apparently I inspired Dexys to carry on to get back to their lifelong project and, you know, at least see what not to do. But you know what? Some people see Mutant Girls what to do, some people see us what not to do. You know what? It has 2 purposes. And I appreciate that. Anyway. Obviously Emma's a lot more kind and charitable. Then I looked, obviously, because if you see my reviews of Running With You, you'll see that, hold on. You'll see that Maya and I actually, Aiden and I have a conversation to do with Maya in terms of wondering if she is going, like, which one of our ships she appreciates more. Is it the one that is, and we've actually determined, because we reviewed Poppy Love on Aiden's channel as well, that this, as far as things are concerned, in terms of the consumption of content, is what really makes everything stand out. To make a good ship for Maya, apparently it has to be, it has to not be straight, because too straight is boring, apparently. And also, which is certainly happy last day of Pride Month. And it also has to have a good, be concluded. Because obviously with Puppy Love, there's the anticipation of what's going to happen. You know, what's the conclusion going to be? When is that going to come out? Versus Running With You, which is set in stone when that comes out today. So yeah, you have that. Also, because apparently Maya, way that she watches stuff is that she'll binge a season, then wait a year for the next one to come out, and then do it all over again, versus waiting week after week. And yeah, obviously, when Mutant Girls was releasing once a month, that was one thing, because it was on a fixed date and everything. But now it's just whenever we can. I mean, considering that the Puppy Love project has failed for another year, basically, in terms of its release time, I actually decided to ask for the voice lines of the Mutant Girl, the next 2 episodes, which, if it was last year, the year before that, would have been the ending, but no, we had to make it 12. That's 2 lorries and 1 car. Why? Anywho, so yeah, but see, like, even then, I have to wait for the voice actors, and then eventually, once that's done, I'm waiting for the editors, which again takes much longer. I'm not sure what I should do, because we actually finished writing season 3 a couple of days ago, and what goes on with that is that I think maybe we should hold on. Look how many cars. And there's more, they just haven't crossed yet. There's one car that indicated went all the way over and back round again, because of course it did. Right, I'm crossing, I don't care anymore. Okay, so, where was I again? I believe I was at the part where... Nope, completely... Oh yeah, season 3. So yeah, I wonder if I should send that out in bulk to people.